Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 4, Episode 5. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back, y'all. Join me, okay? Hit the subscribe button. Share it with a friend. Okay, let's just take a moment to sit in this, okay? Because I'm feeling like I'm being mistreated. Honey, we're going to have a sit down like Louis and Marcel. Child, let's get into it if we going to get into it. When the episode first opens up, Tiffany goes over to visit Mel. Hey, girl. And Tiffany tells her that she loved the party, but Stormi had a lot of opinions about her and Kimmy's conversation. Here go Mel acting all surprised. Yeah, because I was like, what is going on? This is not the vibe that I want. Girl, please. I hate when Mel does this. I really do. Mel, you were sitting there doing that face you like to do and taking a big old gulp of whatever it is you were drinking. Girl, goodbye. So she said Stormi is very opinionated, but she came in hot too. And that's true. Mel is telling Tiffany, look, Stormi's opinionated, but you had a lot to say when you first jumped on the scene too. Y'all are making that same rookie mistake. Okay, you're coming in hot thinking that's what the viewers want to see. Let me tell you something about Love and Marriage Huntsville that's different from every other reality show. We don't really like nothing outside of the three couples that we already have. Okay, we weren't too keen on Tiffany and Louis, and we weren't too keen on Stormi coming through like a storm, a category 5. We don't take too kindly to that. So you kind of got to ease into the Love and Marriage Huntsville crowd, honey, because baby, it's a special group of people. Do y'all hear me? So Tiffany tells Mel about the book signing, and she was like, I was surprised you weren't there. Tiffany, why? Why were you surprised Mel was not there? You know Mel can't stand Hotel Holt. Oh, and speaking of Hotel Holt, if y'all happen to hear hotel anywhere other than this channel, it originated over here. That's just a side note. So they're talking about that, and she was like, yeah, well, I was told, I don't even think that I was asked, I was told that there was going to be something happening. I think it was like a day before, or I was made aware the day of, but it was my week, and I had a death in the family. And so Tiffany was like, oh, okay. So Mel is talking about teaching someone about boundaries because Marcel does not respect her boundaries. So Tiffany tells Mel, she needs to make sure that she's not making decisions on history and baggage. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what I have a problem with. I don't like people telling another person how to heal and move forward from a toxic situation. I understand that there was a huge debate on whether or not Mel should have brought the kids because it was her week and it wasn't Martel's week. And, child, it was a whole fool. But do not try to tell me how to feel. Now, would it have been a good idea for her to let them stop by so that they could say hello and sign a book or two? Yes, that would have been nice of her. But this is Mel and Marcel we're talking about. And y'all ain't finna sit here and play underneath my comments like Mel and Marcel ain't one and the same, child. I really don't have time for that. I dealt with that last week and the week before that. This is my opinion. So all I'm saying is this. Tiffany, do not tell this woman how to move forward. She did not want to bring the kids by because nobody wants to deal with Marcel. And she was like, I just felt disrespected, and I have felt disrespected by Marcel before. So now I'm just setting boundaries. I can see her point, but I also understand that it's not easy moving forward. Like, a lot is still happening in their life. Like she said, they haven't even been divorced a year. It's going to take some adjusting on both parts to be able to co-parent properly. Like, everybody acting like they all perfect. I would have took them, girl. Why you gonna take them? Listen, there is no handbook. Just like there's no handbook on raising a child. We can all say what we woulda, shoulda, and could have done, but until you are in that space, it's hard to really know what you would do. So, child, let these two work it out, honey. I ain't got time to be fussing. Moving forward. Mel said, well, this is recent. This is not the past, okay? So Tiffany said, well, there's always his side, her side, and the truth. She said, okay, well, my side will always be the truth because I don't lie. All right, Mel, you're lying right now, girl. Okay, you're lying right now, child. You have been known to fib a time or two. Honey, you ain't fooling me, okay? It's been a few untruths on both sides. Let's just keep it real. So Mel said, men try to run your life even after y'all are divorced. And baby, when I tell y'all that is so true, oh, Lord. And Tiffany said, well, Marcel looks sad. Okay, well, he should have thought about that before his actions affected his future. I don't care nothing about Marcel looking sad. And I'm going to tell y'all why I don't care nothing about Marcel looking sad in just a moment. And Tiffany, just stay out of it, honey. Just stay out of it, because child, the people ain't really just feeling you just yet. So please just be quiet and don't try to tell this woman what to do. So Tiffany starts talking about her divorce, and she said, that he was a great man. He loved on her. He treated her right. He was basically like her soulmate, and he's since passed on. But he did everything that he could to appease her. He worked day and night and night and day, and she just really couldn't accept his flaws, and she didn't want to accept less, because basically she wanted more, and she wanted more money. And she said, I just was selfish. I should have been a better wife, and she feels bad for hurting him. So here go Mel. Oh, he was your soulmate, and you broke his heart. Oh my goodness. Oh, child, when I tell y'all I could not sit down and talk to Mel. I don't like that. I don't like when people patronize me. Girl, don't do that. In the next scene, Tisha goes over to visit Kimmy. Tisha, girl, you look so cute. Come on, yellow boots. I thought she looked beautiful in this scene. Baby, let me tell y'all something. Tisha is too fine to be over there playing with Marcel. So Marcel, if you can't get yourself together, child, it might be time for you to exit stage left. She's over there visiting Kimmy, and Kimmy said she wanted to talk to Tisha because at the reunion, she said she wouldn't be friends with Tisha if they were not sister-in-laws. So they go out to the back and they sit down, and she tells Tisha that she's just checking in because she knows that the conversation at the reunion didn't sit well with her, and she wanted to clear some things up. What she wanted to tell her is basically, if I were going back and forth with a person, then they would not be my friend. And I felt like I was going back and forth with you, and so that's what made me say that. And she said, I just wanted to be clear and explain it because I love you. And, Tisha got a little bit emotional, because let me tell you one thing about Tisha. She loves and respects Kimmy, and she really wants to have a bond with Kimmy, and I can see it. So the fact that Kimmy sat down with her and she explained what she meant by I wouldn't be your friend if we weren't related, I thought that was good. I really did. And Tisha understood that, and she appreciated that she cleared it up. And she's like, look, I just want to leave the past at the reunion back in 2021, and I just want to move forward. Let's just make new memories. I was like, okay, Tisha, you are really growing. Now, I know the Tisha haters were waiting on her to dwell on it. So I'm so proud of you for receiving it, processing her explanation, and moving on. Moving forward. So then she asked Kimmy about the honeymoon. And Kimmy was like, look, I didn't even want to come back. Okay, I was having so much fun. So she starts telling her all the things that they did, how much fun they had. But then, baby, she brings up Mel's pajama party. She said, yeah, so you and Destiny weren't there, and Keke was. And I was very surprised to see her there. Tisha said, oh, wow. She said, well, I didn't know that they were that close. Kimmy said, I didn't either, but there was a lot of Tisha conversation. Tisha said, okay, so if you're going to talk about me, then why don't you say it in my face? Like, why don't you say it to me, or at least let me be there? And, Kimmy kind of agreed, and she said she feels like Mel invited Keke to bash her because she's aware of the relationship between Keke and Tisha. It's been a little rocky, so I guess she saw that as an end. And she said they're not BFFs, but if I have an issue with you, I would expect for you to come to me and not team up against me. So Tisha said, I thought we were in a good space. Kimmy said, well, you're going to need to go talk to him. In the next scene, Maurice stops in on Marcel, and he's talking about this long overdue honeymoon, child. It should have happened a long time ago. And he's like, oh yeah, Kimmy likes to travel. I just found that out. Say, what now? After all this time, you're just finding out your wife likes to travel? Did y'all travel when you were dating? Oh my goodness. Kimmy over there talking about their kindred spirits, yet you over here talking about you didn't even know she liked to travel. Child is a whole fool. So he was like, yeah, she's a whole totally different person on vacation. And so Marcel was like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, she was all over me. Yeah, she finally got out of Huntsville, honey. There is life outside of Alabama. So as they're talking, here comes Big Lou. What's up, Louis? So they sit down to talk, but not before they take a shot. So Louis is like, you came at us kind of hard at the reunion. Marcel said, okay, hard, but fair. He said, no, you called us fake. So Marcel explained how he asked Tisha to marry him at the age of 26. Marcel, let me stop you right here. I know that you and Tisha want to scream it from the rooftop, that you guys have withstood the test of time. You are really showing for better or for worse, through sickness and in health, through black and chocolate champagne, through mistresses and side babies, till blogs do you part. I know that you want us to know that you and Tisha have weathered the storm. Please, your tenure as far as how long you've been married is awesome. But that doesn't mean that your marriage doesn't have some flaws. He was like, it's not a TV marriage, and Louis has not earned the right to share his opinion with him. Just like he hasn't earned the right to share his opinion on his marriage to Louis. So Louis said, yeah, but you made comments too. So Marcel said, no, I was defensive because you were offensive. And he was like, how was I offensive? He said, you said I had a bad marriage. He said, you don't have the right to speak on my marriage. Louis was like, yeah, okay, well, that's your opinion. Marcel said, no, let's be clear, okay? Because it sounds like this is an I agree to disagree. No, we're not going to do that. Who in the hell do you think you are to talk about my marriage? Child, not you letting Marcel son you. Baby. He said, did I go into details or did I go off what I saw? Marcel said, you just shouldn't be giving advice on my marriage based on what you saw on TV. So Louis is trying to explain his side and what he meant. But after Marcel stated his case with Maurice backing him up, Louis eventually apologized. And the thing about this is, I can't respect what Louis is saying because he always says one thing behind their back. But then when he gets with them, it's something totally different. Stand in it. Stand 10 toes down. Say exactly what you said. You ain't afraid to rumble in the jungle or whatever it was you was over there saying with Tiffany when she was trying to get your wire to enter her hose or whatever y'all was trying to do over there. You said something totally different. I feel Marcel is warranted in his response because, keep your mouth off my marriage. I got to fight everybody out there on the social media streets and everybody behind the keyboards and the phones and whatnot. Now you're coming onto the scene and now you and Tiffany piping up. If y'all had perfect marriages, then you would not be divorced. So I kind of feel Marcel on that. Like, I don't know anybody with a good or bad marriage that wants you speaking on it, period. And I don't care what nobody say. I don't want you putting your mouth on my marriage, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And to be honest, it was more Tiffany than it was Louis. But Louis always has to clean up Tiffany's mess. So he said in the confessional that he apologized if he said something wrong, but his actions were not wrong. So Maurice said, okay, so Marcel, shouldn't you apologize as well? I agree. Maurice, you took the words right out of my mouth because I was just about to suggest the same thing. But child, in true Marcel fashion, he acted confused. Marcel was like, for what? What you mean? Because you said offensive things. So he looks at Louis. He said, Louis, do you feel like I owe you an apology? Louis said, if you want to apologize, that's fine. If not, I'm going to keep it pushing like always. Louis, all right now. Okay? Don't get home and then all of a sudden tell Tiffany, he owed me an apology. I feel like, if I would have took 1 or 2 more shots, he would have gave that apology. If you want an apology, and you feel you deserve one, then say so. Right here in this moment, say it. So then Maurice said in his confessional that Marcel used to be kinder, but now he's real hardened and he doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know if it's the money and he's not sure how, but he has actually changed. So Maurice is trying to explain to Marcel that you owe him an apology for the offensive things that you said. And so Marcel finally caught on, child, because it takes him a while to register things. And he apologized to Louis. So Louis was like, yeah, well, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Louis, you came in here and did the exact opposite of what you said you were going to do. I feel like you could have spoken your speech a little bit more. And that's that on that. In the next scene, Marcel goes to see Mel 2.0 and pretend like he got something going on. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. So he walks in. Here she go. Oh, you caught me off guard. Girl, how he caught you off guard with this whole camera crew in here? Child, I am done. So, child, she going over some things with him, such as the cover of his cookbook for clean eating. And he was like, yeah, the first cover had me with my shirt off. But then I started thinking, I don't think a husband or a boyfriend is going to want to see me with my shirt off in their kitchen. Oh, look at Hotel trying not to be offensive. Honey, I'm glad you worried about other people's families because you sure weren't worried about your own. But anywho, so then they started talking about the kids' book and she wants to get a Times Square billboard, fly the kids out to take a picture in front of it. And this is my thing. I'm all for the billboard and the advertising of it all. But, Marcel, what are you really doing? Like, are you piecing together some projects or what is happening? What y'all should try to do, instead of that billboard, or while you're out there in front of the billboard taking pictures like you're making moves, y'all should try to set up some signings in New York too. I think that would be a good thing. And he said because they didn't attend the book signing, he wants to make sure that it's during his week. Okay, good, Marcel. Okay, because there's no confusion. Make sure that everything that you do as it pertains to that book, your children, and any other thing that you want, unless it has gone through the court, please make sure that it is on your week, child, because I'm not trying to fight for my life in these comments. Okay, I really am not. She said, okay, well, from this point on, I'm going to make sure that the kids are involved. I mean, you got something to do with the book, but I'm going to make sure that they are involved in everything else that we do. So Marcel was like, I'm just disappointed and sad because, the kids prepared for this day. Okay. I don't know if the kids knew the exact day or not, but at the end of the day, they're the most important. So if you want them to experience what they've worked hard to create, then you need to make sure that all dates align so that they can participate. End of the story. So then she also runs a tasting by him. She says she wants to do it in Atlanta. And she's like, yeah, I'll get a few celebs to come in. And baby, they love them some ATL. Do you hear me? So then she said, I just want to do it there because I feel like the people in Huntsville, they know you. So they may lie because they know you. Child, they going to lie in Atlanta too. Listen, people may not like Marcel, but he's a known figure in his own right. So the celebrities or whoever they going to call Candy in the gang, shout out to Candy, whoever they going to call to come on over here and taste this wine, they going to say it's good even if it's not. Why don't you get the regular schmegular people down at the Specs liquor store to test the wine? Marcel, listen. Set up a Specs tasting down in Houston. I will get some of my subscribers to come down there and taste it. Therefore, and thus and such, we will give you an honest review. Better yet, y'all know what I'm going to do? When the wine actually does come out, because I actually want to taste the chocolate champagne as well, I'm going to go get me a bottle of chocolate champagne. I'm going to get me a bottle of Marcel's red wine inspired by Melody. And I'm going to give you a review on it. That's what I'm going to do. So she was like, I want the guest list because I need to know who's coming. So he starts running down a few names and he said Maurice and Marcel. She's like, oh, okay, so is everything good? Because, he was like, what you mean? That picture? She said, yeah. She was like, oh, he was like, well, that was just for laughter. She said, yeah, laughter for you. But we have to worry about the brand. Girl, he ain't got no brand yet. Marcel ain't hitting on nothing, ain't doing nothing, child. Marcel, listen. Last season, you was peddling them Mary Kay products down to Destiny's Beauty Supply in that cardboard box. This season, you have a calendar and people are not buying calendars. Yeah, Marcel, next episode, you're over there asking to get back involved with Sculpt. Marcel, listen, zone in on one thing and execute it. Go and get your builder's license because I want to tell you this. Just because Melody has turned into an influencer does not mean that you can do the same. Okay? I think your passion has to do with building and those type of things. The same types of things that you were doing before this show got picked up. Hone in on that. Not saying that you cannot capitalize off of your newfound fame. I'm not saying that. But Marcel, it ain't hitting on nothing, child. It just ain't hitting on nothing. It's just a mess. So she was like, yeah, I just don't want to have to, figure out what we're going to say as far as cleaning it up all over the World Wide Web. She was like, if y'all want to do that, then y'all need to get a group text because I don't want to have to fix it later. Lord, please leave that picture out of this. I don't want to hear nothing else about that picture. Do y'all hear me? She's like, I know you, so I know that this is not you. He's like, yeah, in his confessional, I've definitely been beat up by, social media, the press, and mail. So much so I almost lost myself. Marcel, you just cannot help from mentioning that lady's name. When I tell you Mel is the one that got away, it's really sad to watch. And have y'all noticed that Marcel don't even just really look the same no more? Like, I feel like him and Mel together, they were an awesome looking couple, a very handsome couple. But now that he's by his lonesome, hanging out all over the internet with that girl, because y'all know I ain't about to say her name over here, hanging out with that girl, he just does not look the same. It's a whole fool. Moving forward. So as he's talking about this, honey, cue the violins and whatnot. Nobody beat you up, hotel. Nobody. You degraded and humiliated your wife. So, of course, there was bound to be backlash. I don't want to hear it. Really, anything you say is null and void at this point to me. After you called your wife a hoe on TV where your kids will one day see that. I'm sorry, honey. I will not cry for you, Argentina. I will never forget when he sat in front of her face. When she had the short hair, because Mel looked real cute with the short hair. When she sat in front of him with that faux fur on and they were sitting outside and, Black was having a little event and whatnot. And this man said to her that she was a hoe. And I just can't respect him after that. I didn't respect him before that. But I'm not going to forget that because this woman bore 4 children for you. The fact that you came out of your mouth and called her a garden tool when you were the one sleeping around, laying low and spreading it wide. Child, please. I think that's a pattern. He calls every woman that he beds down a name. The peasant, the hoe. Oh, okay. It's giving pattern. Moving forward. He's like, friends and family, then, they know the real me. So then she's like, so what are your must-haves? He said, okay, so I want sexy, beautiful women there because that's who I made the wine for. So I want to make sure that they're there, the grown and the sexy. She said, oh, okay, so can linebackers come? And child, it didn't stop them last time they were in Atlanta. And please stop calling these women linebackers. Just because one of them said it, I don't know who it was. I think it was that old girl that Marcel was messing around with, calling the women linebackers and whatnot. Baby, you need to watch what's going on around your own house. Honey, sweep off your own porch before you start calling names and trying to knock down another woman. And girl, and shut up. In the next scene, Tiffany and Stormy, they're meeting up. And Stormy says she thinks they got off on the wrong foot. Absolutely. So she tells Tiffany that she wanted to clear the air. So Tiffany was like, well, is it something that I said to offend you? And Stormy said, so I want to apologize about that. Okay. I really want to get to know you outside of an ignorant comment that you made. And I just want to know, how was that comment ignorant? Did I miss something? Like you interjected yourself into a conversation that had nothing to do with you. So I'm just trying to figure out, how was her comment ignorant? So Tiffany said, okay, so you were a little feisty. And Stormy said, no, I don't like that word, girl. I'm not going to let you put that word on me. And why don't you say passionate? Feisty is the most PG-13 word ever. You called the girl a bitch, okay? Then you just called what she said ignorant. But you don't want her to say the word feisty? Girl, make that make some sense. You know what? People that exhibit poor behavior sometimes, they always want to call it passionate. No. That's just like last year. Tiffany was like, I'm just real. I'm just transparent. No, y'all just rude. So Tiffany said, I couldn't have said anything to you at that moment that you would have received. And so Stormy agrees. She said, but I just want to move on and get to know you. So Tiffany apologized and she apologized to her again. And I thought that was very big of Stormy to come in, see, that maybe she took things the wrong way at first, and she apologized to Tiffany. So then they started talking about Tiffany being transparent. Child, please let's retire the word transparent, please. So Tiffany said, well, not transparent. I'm just authentic. And, I'm often misunderstood. So, baby, she going on and on and on, honey. One time at band camp, this is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on. Like Tiffany was going. Baby, somebody was finally listening and Tiffany was going. Meanwhile, Stormy sitting there looking like something stink. And then she's like sitting there just looking at Tiffany, honey, thinking about what order she needs to fulfill. So Stormy said, oh, I'm sorry, but I zoned out about 5 sentences ago. Stormy, that is rude as hell. How you going to apologize then turn around and be rude yet again? So Tiffany said, in her confessional, I thought we were working on things. Like I thought we were working on our friendship. But I'm just going to let this go. I'm just going to let it go. Tiffany is like, yeah, I used to blame that on pregnancy brain. Okay, listen. I just had an aha moment, y'all. I really did as I was watching this. Okay. So Tiffany realized all of the backlash that she got last season, right? And she wants to be better this season. She wants to be accepted just like her husband, Louis. And she wants to get along with everyone. So she's letting things slide. But what I think is that she's not being as authentic as she's saying. Last season was the true Tiffany. And this season is the damage control Tiffany. And what I don't want to happen is for Tiffany or Louis, because honey, they got something in common other than being married. I don't want them to be on this show and not be authentically who they are, because the cast is not going to connect with you that way. So I feel like both of them are just letting things slide, and it's okay to say, girl, you being disrespectful. Like, girl, that was rude as hell. It's okay to say that, because we will formulate our own opinions based on what you say. But don't just let people walk all over you, girl. You in your Payless shoes now. So Stormy starts talking about IVF because she had endometriosis. And I thought that was a really touching story. And, they told Tia from Tia and Tamara, sister, they told her the same thing as well. But, she changed her diet and she did things to, help her in a holistic way. And baby, here she is 2 children later. So Tiffany asked her if she wants another one, and Stormy said, no, I almost died. She hemorrhaged really badly, And also she tore. Childbirth is next to death. Like, it really is. For those who have seamless pregnancies and deliveries, I applaud you, and you are so blessed. Because, baby, it is some people where pregnancy is just, you're just happy to see your kid at the end of the day. So Tiffany started saying that her pregnancy was tough, but her and Louis have been thinking about having another baby. Now, when she said that, I was like, now why would you want to do that in your late 40s? This is what I'm thinking. And Stormi said, because you're 33, right? She said, no, I'm 34, so I still have a lot of years left. Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. It is no way on God's green earth that Tiffany is 34. Child, the wardrobe alone gives 47 plus. Okay, I officially feel like the most youthful woman in the world, honey. I am definitely giving zhuzh over on this side. Tiffany, we are going to have to get you a more up-to-date and age-appropriate wardrobe. You are too pretty to come across so seasoned. Baby, I am in shock. Do y'all hear me? So she starts talking about her family dynamic to Stormi and how she's been recently searching for her dad. So Stormi said in her confessional that she can't imagine not knowing her dad. And I thought that was so sad. And after all that, her and Stormi talked about, she said, well, I'm happy that we got to spend some one-on-one time together, and hopefully we can build a rapport that's awesome. This is what Stormi is saying to Tiffany. So I'm thinking, okay, Tiffany has let her guard down a little bit. She's really opened up. So let's get into it. So Tiffany goes, so are we good? She said, oh, we're definitely getting to know each other for sure. She said, okay, well, is that good or bad? She said, I mean, it is what it is. Okay, Stormi is annoying. I'm sorry, honey, I'm not feeling it. She is annoying, ma'am. You were rude as hell. And now, after having her open up, she still has to work to be in your good graces? Okay, well, I'm going to sing you something, and it's courtesy of your friend. I think you're so uncool. I think you're acting a fool. Shout out to Melody. Girl, honey, it couldn't be me. Like Mel said, Tiffany, you do not have to be friends with everybody. Okay? If the girl don't want to be your friend, then stop trying to force yourself on her. Clearly, she's going to be your acquaintance from a distance. In the next scene, Tisha comes into black because she's meeting with Keke. Keke, do you love me? Are you riding? Shout out to Drake. So she comes in, right? And she says she wants to talk to Keke to let her know that talking about her behind her back is not cool. So they sit down, right? She said, yeah, so I was talking to Kimmy and she was telling me about the party and how you had some things to say about me. Keke said, yes, you did come up. Tisha said, well, I thought we were good. Like, I didn't think you would be talking about me with people that I don't really know or that don't really know me. Keke said, well, it wasn't like a degrading type of conversation. It doesn't matter what way it was. You know her. You know her and Mel's dynamic. It's a no-no, period. We're family. Like, it's just a no-no. So, baby, they done gave Keke a confessional. And that's all she wanted anyway, child. She said, Tisha is mad at me for talking about things that she said she told me in confidence. However, it's she who's gone back and talked about my personal business. You mean, however, it's her, not she. But, child, carry on. She said, I thought that I could trust my cousin, but clearly I cannot. Okay, child, let's see what went on, honey, because you just don't go and sit with a woman that called your cousin her enemy and talk about her marriage, honey. That's just messy. But let's see what you got to say. So then Keke goes, yeah, I thought we were good until you and Marcel talked about me to Mel and Martel. Oh, okay, so she came on here for some get back. That's what this is. So Tisha said, what did I tell? Like, what are you saying? Keke said, you know exactly what it is. So apparently there was a Christmas party that they spent with Mel and Martel, and before Keke got there, they were talking about her. So Tisha said, I told you that never happened. And Keke said, no, Tisha, you apologized for it. Tisha said, yes, that was 4 years ago. She said Keke was dealing with a major issue. So she felt it was only fair for her to let Mel and Martel know what was going on because she was coming into their home through her and Marcel. And what issue y'all think it was? What was it that she needed to be made aware of? And Tisha, I thought you just said that it never happened. Girl, you got a little line problem. Did it happen or did it not happen? Child, Keke felt like Tisha shouldn't have told Mel and Martel her business. But Tisha felt as though as Mel's friend, it was her responsibility to let Mel know what was coming into her home. Was Keke a thief? Like, what was it? Child, I have my theories, but honey, I don't want to say that on Beyonce's internet. But we definitely gonna discuss it, okay? But I have my theories as to what I think it is. So Tisha said, if you want to believe them, then go ahead and believe them. Keke said, you did say it. You put my business out there. So Tisha said, well, how about we just cut ties? Because I'm not about to go back and forth with you. Oh, Lord. Keke is like, well, you don't think that hurt me? Tisha said, you don't think Mel lied to you? She said, yeah, I would have thought she lied had she not said it to me and it was true. Oh, Tisha. Now, if she repeated it verbatim, then you said that. Okay? You said it. There ain't no way around it. But that does not negate the fact that you sat with Mel and got messy too. So both of y'all was wrong. I need to know what was said. That's basically what needs to go on for me. Tisha said, well, we stayed on the phone 3 or 4 hours and I told you everything that I said. She said, and you forgave me. Now here we are 5 years later and you still talking about it? Keke gonna say, well, I don't feel like you took accountability. I don't think you acknowledged it. Girl, and you didn't acknowledge nothing at all either. We've been sitting here talking about what Tisha did 15 years ago for the past 10 minutes. Tisha said, I did acknowledge it. Keke said, that's some bull. Girl, please, okay? Let's just cut the madness. You know dang on well you had already moved past that. Just last year, you were in the backyard or the park or wherever y'all was defending Tisha to Kimmy because you felt like Kimmy did not have her back against Mel. Now you get camera time and you caught being messy. You don't feel like she acknowledged it? Girl, stop. You just want to be on TV. That's the bottom line, honey. She wants to be on TV. Tisha said whatever she said to Mel because clearly Keke was going through something. And it must have been something serious for her to have to give a heads up on her coming into these people's homes. So now, instead of acknowledging what she did, Keke wants to deflect. Okay, Keke, you answered a couple questions that Mel baited you on answering. But as her cousin, you should have just been like, I don't want to discuss that. That's her business. If y'all want to talk to her about that, she's not here. You got to learn when to shut things down. But then again, we have to remember this is reality TV. If they don't get messy, then they don't eat. So Tisha gets pissed. She gets up and she walks away. And Tisha was like, she talking behind my back. But when she's confronted, she want to bring up something from 5 years ago. She already forgave me. Keke did not take an ounce of accountability for what she did, honey. This was all about Tisha. So Tisha goes outside, baby, because she is 38 hot. So she calls Kimmy to let her know what was going on. And Kimmy was like, So then up walks Keke in her Coogee sweater. And she's like, so who you talking about me to now? And scene. Baby, this is a fool. Y'all tell me whose side y'all on. Do y'all think both of them are wrong? Because I do. Because if something happened between Tisha and Keke that we were not privy to, and she said something to Mel, and Keke felt like it should have been kept in confidence, I feel like Keke went behind Tisha's back and did the exact same thing. But girl, don't come on one season and act like you got my back. Then the next season, you want to pretend like me and you still into it. That's what she lost me. So therefore, and thus and such, I'm Team Tisha on this one. Y'all let me know and comment down below exactly what y'all think. Destiny, where are you? Okay, I hope you ain't in that studio. Turn me up, boy, you're on another level. Child, I will catch y'all on the flip side. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.